Hey everyone, hope you're doing well. Today I want to talk about inflation, and I really think this topic is very important because it shows and exposes a lot of things that you may think are the way that they are or the way that they've always been, but this will show a different perspective, I guess, on it. So this is part of the collection of lessons. Everything on this channel is not anything advice, and let's jump into inflation. So when people hear inflation, they hear, well, things go up 2 to 3% is what the number the government gives us as an inflation rate, or a consumer price index gives us that, where they kind of average out the cost of an average person's life somehow and come up with a fake number called inflation. But what inflation actually is, once you understand it and once you kind of counter the argument and see why it exists, why it shouldn't exist, then you kind of get into the nitty-gritty of life, I'll call it. So jumping into this, I'll kind of give an example, and we're going to use a triangle to show three different things and how they correlate to each other. So at the top of this, we're going to put some coins, and this will be, let's say, some coins. Let's use in this example Ruckers. And if you don't know what Ruckers is, it's a place where you can exchange your dollars for these gold coins, and then these gold coins you can use in a machine, a game or whatever, right? And in the game, you play the game, and then out comes tickets, right? And then the tickets you use, and you spend the tickets in quotes on prizes, right? So these coins somehow indirectly relate to tickets, which then relates to prizes. And back when Ruckers was around, and when I went to Ruckers, I think Ruckers is still around, but you could get an N64 back in the day. I remember looking at it and be like, oh, I want that someday with all my tickets or whatever, right? And so basically, let's just say one coin equals one ticket. If you play a game like that, one coin equals one ticket, and you need let's say 30,000 tickets for an N64, right? Now, this N64 just sitting on the shelf or whatever, it costs 30,000 tickets, which equals to 30,000 coins from your Ruckers, right? That's how that works. So the exchange rate is 30,000 coins for one N64, right? But there's more prizes than just the N64. There was also a PlayStation, and the PlayStation came out, and it was also sitting there. Now, it was also 30,000. Okay? This is just an example. I don't know if these were real numbers. But you could get, with 30,000 you can get an N64, or 30,000 you can get one PlayStation. If you want to exchange an N64 for a PlayStation, theoretically that's a straight change. One N64, equals one PlayStation. And this, let's say you wanted to get the PlayStation, your friend wanted to get the N64, and then later on you want to swap. This would be of equal value, right? Equal value. Now the problem is Ruckers loses their coins every once in a while because people take them home, they throw them in the garbage, or they get recycled, or they break or whatever, right? So Ruckers prints more coins, right? How many coins do they print? They print about, let's say, 5% of their supply a year. So they put these into rotation. So now there's more coins, more tokens, which is what creates inflation, and there's the rarity of these coins is now less, right? Because there's more coins in circulation. Even if we don't know how many are lost, you'll never know that. But there's more coins. And because there's more coins and the scarcity isn't there, it's going to push the price up. And how much is it going to push it up? It's going to push it up 5%, right? So if we take our quick calculator and we say 30,000 times 1.05%, we're going to be at 31,500. So now this price every year is going to go up 31,500, right? Which means that this one will also go up 31,500, right? Because they're equal, right? So you can buy a PlayStation or an N64 for 31,500. They're equal, they're balanced out. This is how it works, right? But then the next year they print another 5%. And what does that do? Well, you take this 31,500 that now exists, right? And you times that by 1.05 again. Now it's $33.75. Notice how 5% on this time, the difference between this and this is 1500. You can see it, right? But the difference on this one, so we'll put 33,075. 075. So the difference between this one and this one, you can see, and I'll calculate it for you, minus 31,500 is a difference of 1575. Right? There's the difference between this and this. So now an N64 doesn't cost that, it now costs this the next year. And we can erase this, which then theoretically moves this up 33,075, right? So this happens every year, and that's why they print the money, because things happen or whatever, or, in my opinion, maybe they're, insolvent or whichever, but that's what happens with inflation. Notice how the N64 also always equals the same as a PlayStation, okay? And this is compoundingly getting worse every year, right? Now, because it gets worse, and because a PlayStation equals an N64 and all that type of thing, these prices are going to go up. And, if you have an N64, you're thinking now, well, what if I just sell my N64 and sell it for this? Then I would make money, right? People think, oh, I bought it for 30,000 tokens. I could sell it for 33,075. I made tokens, right? So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to sell my N64 back to Rutgers. If you could do this, this would be sweet, but you can't. So I'm going to sell this, and I'm going to cash out and get 33,075, right? Now, because my product has gone up in inflation, I made money, as so to speak, if I compare this price to how much I paid for it. However, because the way that inflation works and applies to everything that the Rutgers coins, touch, everything has jumped up 5% in cost, which means that the PlayStation that I want to buy and maybe keep this difference that I made, right? And I buy the PlayStation and I realize, wait, the PlayStation is actually that amount. Well, why is that? I made money, right? Why can't I buy it for 30,000, cash out my difference of, 3,075? Well, because you didn't make money. You didn't get ahead. You didn't get ahead financially at all, right? It's still, one N64 equals one PlayStation. It's still the exact same. Everything else, let's say, you could have got, 20 candies, right? From Rutgers. Candies. Right? Those 20 candies that you could have got for the same cost as an N64, those also went up because the Rutgers tokens touched it with inflation. So you made nothing. You made nothing here, right? So what am I trying to show? I'm trying to show if you replace Rutgers with the government, and you replace the N64 with your house, and you replace this PlayStation over here with another house, did your house actually make money? Did it go up? On paper, you paid 30,000 and you sell it for 33,000. Did it go up? Did you make money? No, you did not, because you only made as much as inflation has pushed it up. When you sell it, you're not going to exchange this difference. You're not going to be able to buy the same equal size house or whatever that was valued at the same equal size house that existed in your city. It could have been your neighbor or whatever. Your house went up, their house went up. You sell your house, you can buy their house. If they were the same value before, they should theoretically be the same value after. So you didn't make money. And it's interesting when you hear people say, well, my house went up from whatever to whatever. It's like, but you don't understand how the whole system works. You didn't make money, and the only way that you can sell your house and claim that profit, I guess you could say, that profit of 3,000 that you think you made, is to sell it. Well, when you sell it, where are you going to live? Well, you have to live in another house. So you buy another house, but you can't buy a house with the same equal value. You might have to buy one with one bedroom less, right? So that you can get and hold the profit outside of it. And that's basically inflation in a nutshell.